The morning began in perfect silence, the kind that feels too calm to be real, as if the universe inhales just before something shatters. Oliver Crestwood, a billionaire known for his immaculate composure, had just woken up in the sunlit suite of a mountain resort. The soft rustling of curtains and the distant hum of housekeeping filled the space with an almost storybook peace. But peace can be deceptive, because in less than a minute, a single scream would rip through the walls and tear apart the life he thought he understood. That moment came when the maid, trembling and pale, burst into the room with a voice that shook the hallway. "Don't drink it." Her cry cracked the air like lightning, and everything that happened after would break his world open in ways he never imagined. If you believe in kindness, second chances, or simply the power of emotional stories, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Corner. Your support helps us bring these life-changing stories to more people. Oliver had lived his entire life believing money protected him from the shadows ordinary people faced. He owned businesses, islands, homes, cars, everything except peace. His wife, Helena, often told him he worried too much, but even she didn't truly understand the pressure he carried. That morning, her smile was distant, but warm enough to make him believe for a moment that their troubled marriage still had something left in it. She brought him a delicate porcelain cup filled with a fragrant herbal brew and sat close, her robe gliding softly as she leaned in. Her eyes seemed too watchful, too careful, as if waiting for something. But Oliver didn't notice. He trusted her. He trusted the comfort of a routine he thought they still shared. The maid's entrance changed everything. The scream shook Helena more than Oliver. Her hands tensed instantly, and her entire posture snapped with a fear he had never seen in her before. The room spun, not physically, but emotionally, like an unraveling thread pulling apart the seams of the life he thought he controlled. The maid, a young woman named Mara, stood frozen at the doorframe with tears building in her eyes. Her panic didn't feel accidental. It felt desperate, almost pleading, as if she had risked everything to get that one sentence out in time. Oliver didn't drink the cup. Instead, he set it down slowly, the porcelain clinking in a way that suddenly felt threatening. His chest tightened with an instinct he could not explain. Helena's breathing had become shallow. Her face had drained of color. A coldness spread through the room, the kind that comes not from temperature, but from truth trying to climb its way to the surface. He ran a hand through his hair, feeling the weight of suspicion settle between his ribs. Mara stepped closer, her voice cracking as she tried to gather the strength to speak, but her trembling said more than her words ever could. Something was wrong, terribly, painfully wrong. The hotel security team arrived moments later, alerted by the maid's scream. Within minutes, the suite was surrounded, the cup was confiscated, and samples were taken. Oliver watched everything unfold with a numbness that felt like drifting underwater. Helena tried to compose herself, but he could see the storm raging behind her eyes. The results came back quickly, far too quickly for comfort. The herbal tea had been tampered with. Nothing lethal, but enough to cause neurological confusion, blackouts, and long-term memory disruption. It wasn't something that would have killed him. It was something that would have controlled him, something that would have erased him. As the truth surfaced, heartbreak followed. Helena hadn't tried to harm Oliver out of cruelty. She had been manipulated by someone else. Her brother Quentin, a man drowning in debt, who saw Oliver's wealth as the only lifeline keeping him afloat. Quentin had convinced Helena that Oliver planned to end their marriage and leave her with nothing, a complete fabrication that preyed on her insecurities. In her fear of losing everything, She made a catastrophic decision without fully understanding its consequences. She agreed to add the substance to Oliver's tea just once, just enough to make him confused during upcoming meetings that involved massive financial decisions. Quentin would then swoop in, influence the outcomes, and walk away with millions. But Helena didn't know the full extent of the plan. She didn't know Quentin planned to frame her, disappear with the money, and leave both of them destroyed. Mara, the maid, had seen Quentin in the suite earlier. She overheard enough to realize something was wrong. She found the vial he dropped and recognized the danger. She knew she had little time. Her scream wasn't just a warning. It was an act of courage. A moment where an ordinary person became the line between tragedy and truth. Oliver had always believed loyalty was something bought, contracted, or negotiated. But in that moment, Mara taught him something he had forgotten. Genuine kindness still existed. People still risked everything to do what was right. The aftermath broke Oliver in unexpected ways. It wasn't the betrayal, although that hurt beyond measure. It wasn't the public scandal or the collapse of trust. What truly shattered him was realizing how deeply fear and loneliness had seeped into Helena's heart while he had been too busy managing empires to notice the quiet collapse of the person he once vowed to protect. He didn't excuse her actions, but he understood them. He chose compassion over revenge, truth over retaliation. They parted ways peacefully, both wounded, both wiser. Oliver spent the months that followed rebuilding not his wealth, but his humanity. He funded Mara's education, helped her family escape poverty, and set up a foundation to support people trapped in manipulative or abusive financial situations. The men who once believed money was armor finally learned it could also be a lifeline when used with love. As the story closes, I want you, the viewer, to take a quiet moment and reflect. If this story touched your heart even a little, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your engagement helps us keep spreading real, emotional, and inspiring stories every day. Before we end, comment below with one thing you believe the world needs more of.